Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. Today, we're going to talk about one of the ship's armor features, the Splinter Deck. I'm currently sitting on the starboard side of the Splinter Deck, directly above fire room number 3. So I'm more or less above boiler number 5. Behind me, you can see the Splinter Deck as it runs lengthwise across the middle of the ship. So what is a Splinter Deck? Iowa-class battleships have this feature to help make their armor more effective. Battleships are armored against their own caliber shells. If you're building a battleship with 16-inch guns, your enemies are probably also building a battleship with 16-inch guns. So you armor your ship against that. My rough rule of thumb for armoring is 1 inch of armor will stop 1 inch of projectile. So to defeat a 16-inch shell, you want 16-inch armor plate. Now that's just not possible. It's too heavy and too expensive to manufacture a plate like that for your whole ship. Really, that rule only applies to the armored belt, where a shell might hit at a straight angle. If a projectile hits at an angle, it's not just going through the 16-inch width, it's going through at a diagonal, which ends up being a greater equivalent thickness. Any hits on the armored deck of a battleship fired against what we expected our main enemy to be, an enemy battleship, are going to hit at an angle because they're plunging fire. And so the deck will have greater equivalent thickness. Our deck is divided into 3 different armored systems. The main deck is 1.5 inches thick special treatment steel. And that is the main deck of the ship. That will decap any armor-piercing projectiles. It'll break off the nose so they cannot continue to penetrate. And it will set off any high explosive projectiles. And then, the floor to second deck, or the ceiling to third deck, is this thing right above me. The 6-inch main armored deck. That is strong enough to stop a armor-piercing projectile that's been decapped, and it'll catch any splinters from a high-explosive projectile that's been detonated 1 deck above. The 6-inch armor is Class B armor plating. It's incredibly rigid, and therefore on the brittle side. So even if an armor-piercing projectile doesn't defeat this armor, even if it just bounces off, it will still cause what's called spalling, or splinters, where the back face of that brittle armor splinters out. Now this is a problem because directly beneath the armored deck are all of our magazines and engineering spaces and medical spaces and many communication spaces. So a single splinter could knock an entire boiler or magazine out of action. And that's where the Splinter Deck comes in. The Splinter Deck is very thin and it's very elastic. It's more of a high tensile steel than an armor plate, so that when it gets struck by a spalling or a splinter from above, it's not going to shatter like brittle armor, it's going to bend and absorb that impact. And the Splinter Deck runs all the way from turret 1 up forward to about turret 3 back aft. So it's protecting all of the engineering and magazine spaces in between. So, before we close, let me apologize for the sound quality on this video. I'm used to filming in a metal box, but this takes it a little bit extreme. And let me also apologize for the videography of this video. It turns out there isn't enough room for a tripod in here. Can you believe that? If you would like to see a future video of us crawling through some of the spaces here, which have plumbing and electrical running through them, and also have a tremendous amount of sailor art from over the years, leave a comment in the comment section down below. We may possibly crawl through these spaces and explore a little bit at some point in the future. If you have any questions about this video, also drop them in the comment section down below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe so you're notified when we're putting out new content. We try to put out multiple pieces of content every week. The museum receives operational support from a grant from the New Jersey Department of State. We also receive support from viewers like you, and if you would like to help our YouTube channel, there's a link in the description below to our GoFundMe campaign. Anything you donate there goes directly into our YouTube channel and allows us to make more videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.